incredible. One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second. How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this? Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while,
I feel the need for speed.
What a decent night, huh?
It's my birthday.
You say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too.
Don't do that, okay?
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday in a hot bar, two girls, nice fun. I remember always, I get such a fright. Feeling in the dark, covered with my great big cat. If they want me, and I wish you, If they want me, and I wish you, If they want me and I wish you, would you like to present too? Happy birthday in a hot bar, two girls, nice fun. I remember always, I get such a fright.
Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions, that each one of us is a brain
And an athlete.
And a basket case. A princess.
and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Don't you forget about me as you walk on by.
Shabbat Shalom to you, and welcome to Temple Emmanuel. As you can see on the screen, we're very spread out here. We just have the family, and we just have Felix and me, Rabbi Jonathan Aaron, and Cantor Lizzie Weiss. That's all who's in this room. And we're kind of in the back of the room, as you could see. And from that montage, it really brings me back to the 80s when I had hair, and when we all spent all of our time at Emerson College. Yes, I went to Emerson College. So all of you on the Zoom, all of you that went to Emerson, way to go. But today's about Felix. I know it's strange. You guys are all on this screen watching us in this room, and we've got masks on and we're separate. But you know what? What's most important is that Felix has done all the work needed to prepare for today. And, you know, today in so many ways, traditional Judaism likes to say that today Felix is a man. That's not really what it's about. Today is the last day he's a kid. And after he does what he's going to do today, leading us in prayer, teaching us what's in the Torah portion, and reading from the Torah, he's showing us that he's ready to kind of move into this next stage in his life, which is, you know, young adulthood now, but he's going to start to really forge his way towards his life in this world. And we're saying, look how far you've come so far, and we're here to love you, and we're here to make sure that as you go into the future, you've got that love of family and friends. And from the look of all of the people on those screens on the Zoom call, which we were looking at earlier, there are so many people that love and care about you, Felix, and we're all pulling for you on this. So we're going to get started. And first of all, if you'd like to follow the service, you may follow the service. There's going to be a link that comes up on the chat. And you can go online and you can get the actual Siddur. And Felix is going to call kind of the page numbers of the Siddur. In addition, all of you received a box. I know everyone is wearing a t-shirt. All they got was that lousy T-shirt, frankly. And, so you got that in there. You got a little wine in there for later. That's at the very, very end of the service. You have this, which tells us everything that's happening in the service and who's doing it. And it's a lovely picture of Felix on the front there. And so you can follow along. And there's candy. We'll tell you when to reach into that box and to throw the candy at the screen. That's the way to do this. This is the first bar mitzvah kid that will not be pelted by candy from thousands of people. Okay, I think we're about ready to begin, and the best way to do that, the best way to bring ourselves into a prayerful space, ready to begin this ceremony, is through song. So I'd like to ask Cantor Weiss to lead us in a song.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Even through the screen, Felix can see all of you on the screen. I really want to be able to see your mouths move as we sing Hine Matov. And I fixed this so you can hear me. So we're going to sing Hine Matov, how wonderful it is to be together. Sorry. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Let's see you clap your hands. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov. Yararai, yarararararai. Hine matov, hine matov. Yararai, yarararararai. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
As we move forward, we have a little presentation to start with, because there are some things that when a person becomes a bar mitzvah that they get to do, they are privileged to be able to do. And before you become a bar or bat mitzvah, you're not allowed to do these things. And one is to wear a talit. And so I'd like to ask Elizabeth and Greg to come forward and to present Felix with his fringes, the fringes that say, I'm ready to live by those values that are in the Torah. And so I'd like to bring you up to the bima, where Elizabeth and Greg will present Felix with his talit.
We wrap you in love. At this moment, we stand in awe of you, our son. With each smile, we experience your joy.
With each step, we recall your strength. With each glance into your eyes, we see your soul, and we see our blessed.
With this talit, we wrap you in love. With these fringes, we declare that you are a Jew. Through you, our beautiful boy, we are reminded of the greatest commandments of our tradition.
To love.
To love the other as yourself.
To love your mother and father.
To love those less fortunate than us.
And to love life and live for each moment.
And so today, in front of this community, we bless you, we wrap you, we welcome you. Blessing.
Oh. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef batzitzi.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. How wonderful it is to see so many of my friends and family here with me today. Please join me as we sing Matavu on page 74. We continue now with prayer for thanks for our restored souls after a good night's sleep. Please turn to page 78 for Elohai Neshama.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzarta, ata nefachta mi, ve'ata meshamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi.
Please rise as we chant the morning blessings together in both Hebrew and English on page 80.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vina levachin ben yom uven laila.
Who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokea ivrim.
Who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, maftir asurim.
Who frees the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokev kefufim.
Who lifts up the fallen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Who stretches the earth over the waters.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin metzadei gaver.
Who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, al bi sharumim.
Who clothes the naked.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hatein le'oef koah.
Who gives strength to the weary.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir shina me'enai, u'numa me'afapai.
Who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Who has made me in the image of God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben hori.
Who has made me free.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Who has made me a Jew.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvuro.
Who girds Israel with strength.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael betifara.
who crowns Israel with splendor.
Please be seated. We continue with the blessing for Torah study on page 86. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
We continue with Elu Devarim on page 88. We are encouraged to act upon these mitzvot, which will greatly enrich our lives. Elu Devarim she'ein lachem shi'ur.
These are things that are limitless.
Kibud av va'em,
Honoring one's father and mother.
Ugmelu tasadim,
Engaging in deeds of compassion.
Vehashkemat, Beit Hamidrash, Shaharit ve'ervit.
Arriving early for study, morning and evening.
Vechach nasat orhim.
Dealing graciously with guests.
Uvikor holim.
Visiting the sick.
Vechach nasat kala.
Providing for the wedding couple.
Uvayat hamein. Accompanying the dead for burial. Ve'iyun tefillah. Being devoted in prayer. Ve'hava'at shalom. Ben adam levaro.
And making peace among people.
Ve'talmud Torah keneged kulam, but the study of Torah encompasses them all. Please turn to page 90 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba be'alma divra hirute v'amlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, ve'im le'u, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevora, le'ala u'ame almaya, yitbara, yitbara, ve'yishtaba, ve'yitpa'ar, ve'yitramam, ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitadar, ve'yitaleh, Ve'yitala, Shemei Dekudesha Brichu, Le'ela Min Kol, Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Da'amiran Ve'alma, Ve'imeru, Amen. Please rise and face the ark for Baruch Hu on page 108. Page 110. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uverei hosha, osei shalom uverei et hakol. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous, a promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use these words as you have, to cast light into dark water and draw out your justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha-me'orot. Join me as we sing Shema on page 114. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please continue on page 116 with the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol lavavcha uvechol nafshecha v'chol meodecha. Chayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alavavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech ukshoch becha uvkumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha Uchtavtam amazuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelelechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher chotzeti etem meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lalachim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem, amen.
We continue with Micha Mocha on page 122.
Yabba bim bim bam, yabba bim bam.
We turn to page 124 for the Amidah. Please rise.
Adonai sefatav ditach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatav ditach ufi agi tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei
Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Onora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zoher Haseavot v'imahot, Umefi Geula, Livnei v'nechem, Mon Shemo, Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia, U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Megain Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol atah, Rav le'choshia, Moshiv Harua, Umarid Hagashem, Mechakel Hayim Behesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim Berofeh Holim, Umatir Aserim
Please continue with the remainder of the Amidah through
Continue
page.
first with the Kedusha.
Oh.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכזה זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני, ממקומו אחד אלוהינו, אבינו מלכנו, ושייני וישמיעני רחמיו לעיני כל החי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. Hallelujah. Let's face out, Felix, so everyone can see your face. Ledorva. Let's wait for Felix. All right, ready? Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Nagid galacha.
Ledorva door.
Dorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door. Nagid galacha. Ulenetzach netzachim. Ulenetzach netzachim. Kedushatecha nadgish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu. Mipinu lo yamush. Le'olam, le'olam va'ed.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door. Ledorva door. Nagid galacha.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door.
Ledorva door. Ledorva door. Nagid galacha. Yalalai. Yalalai.
Please continue with the remainder of the Amidah through page 142 using the words on the page or the prayers in your heart. When you are finished, you may be seated. Shema Yisrael.
We're going to continue now with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom. Bimroma. Oseh Shalom. Bimroma. Huyaseh, huyaseh, huyaseh Shalom. Huyaseh, huyaseh, huyaseh Shalom. Huyaseh, huyaseh, huyaseh Shalom. Aleinu. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimrama. Oh, say shalom. Bimrama. Huyaseh, huyaseh, huyaseh shalom. Huyaseh, huyaseh, huyaseh. yaseh shalom, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu.
We've now reached our Torah service, and we'll be taking the Torah out of the ark. We'll be passing it from generation to generation, and Felix will take his place as the next and newest bar mitzvah. I always like to find some kind of practical message or spiritual teaching that we can take from our Torah portion. This week, you'll be hearing more from Felix, but we are reading from Toldot in the book of Genesis. It's the stories of Jacob and Esau. Anyone who has ever had a sibling can understand sibling rivalry, and this is a huge story about sibling rivalry. But I wanted to touch upon one moment in the Torah portion, and that is when Esau sells his birthright to Jacob for a cup of stew. He comes in from the field, he's famished, and he needs to eat. And so Jacob's like, okay, give me your birthright, and I'll give you some of the stew. And Esau says, what good is stew going to be? I'm dying. What good is my birthright going to be if I'm dead? So yes, you can have the birthright, give me the stew. I was talking with Greg beforehand. We were talking about how difficult life is right now, 9 months into the pandemic. And, you know, we were able to do a great job of this in the first 6 months, then 7 months, then 8 months, and it's really, really getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder to keep these masks on wherever we go. It's getting harder and harder to keep ourselves distanced from people. And we want to be with each other. Look at, there's so many people on the Zoom call. All of you would have been here sharing this today, and it's getting more and more frustrating. And we may feel, in many ways, the way Esau felt when he came in from that field, is that, there's no hope. I'm so frustrated, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Nothing really matters, so I don't care if I give my birthright for a cup of soup. So the message, I think, our spiritual message with this Torah portion on this day is don't make any hasty decisions at this point. Don't make or if you're going to make decisions, important decisions, make sure you take your time doing it. Make sure you're not forced into making any of these kinds of decisions, because our minds are not where we were last March before this began. Our minds are somewhere else, and we feel pressure, and we feel anxiety, and we feel all of this stuff. So let's take from Esau that very important message, that even when you feel like all is lost, it's not. And it will pass. And his hunger, it may not have passed, but he wasn't going to die from it. He was just coming in from the field after a long day's work. So yeah, he was hungry, and he may have even been a little hangry. But let's learn from Esau to take our time a little bit. One of the messages that I was giving early on in the pandemic was, let's have patience. Let's come back to that. Let's keep our patience as we move forward. So now, let us, we're going to go up. We're going to open the ark. We're going to take the Torah out, and we're going to line up our family from generation to generation, because the fact is, in the 2,500 years that we've been reading Torah in public, the only way it continues is when one generation gives to the next generation, and that generation gives to the next generation, and them to the next and the next, over thousands of years. This is the way Torah has stayed in our Jewish family. And so, I'd like to ask Grandpa? What do you go by? Richard, what do you go by? Are you Grandpa? What do they call you?
Richard. Papa.
Papa Richard is going to come up. Elizabeth and Greg are going to come up onto the ark. We're going to pass the Torah, and then Felix is going to take his place as the next to read from Torah. I'm now going to also put my Felix mask on. That's really for the pictures. So here we go. We're up at the ark.
Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, vein kemasecha, malachutecha malchut כל עמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז עמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אב הרחמים, היטיב ברצונך את ציון. תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים. כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life, from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
In the book of Nehemiah, in chapter 8, there is this amazing description of Ezra the scribe, who had returned to Jerusalem to bring back the Israelite cult. But the Israelite cult was only sacrifices. Ezra brought something new. And in Nehemiah, there was this description of him, Ezra, with a whole bunch of his friends, and they come out into the square, kind of like this open space before us, and they read from a scroll. That was approximately 530 BCE. Now, you don't have to go to MIT for mathematics to know that 2,500 years, that's a long time for the Torah to be read in public. And as I mentioned before, it's because it's passed down from generation to generation. So that's what we're going to do right now, until Felix takes his place as the next to read Torah. And Felix, we hope that as this is passed down to you, and you take it in your arms, that it seeps into you somehow and becomes a part of who you are from this moment on. You're just going to hold it. Okay. Anytime we do something for the first time, we say a special blessing that says, thank God I was born, that I was kept alive, and I've made it to this exact moment in my life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu l'Adonai iti
Uneromema Shemo Yachdav.
Lecha Adonai hagedula hagivura hatiferet vehanetzach lechavod kihol bashamayim uvaretz kihol bashamayim uvaretz lecha Adonai hamalacha be'mid na'aseh lerosh.
You guys can be seated. And just give me one sec. Okay, so all of our honors that we're doing today are on our Zoom call. Here's our Zoom call right here in the room. I don't know, Daniel, can you bring that up so everyone can kind of see? Oh, actually, they're all looking at each other. We're the only ones that can't see them. There they are. No, I'm actually looking for Ned and Nora. Can you guys raise your hands if you're there? Ned and Nora. Oh, that's you guys? That's Daniel, under Daniel's picture, correct? Okay, we have to unmute you there. Can we hear you? Let's hear you guys. All right. By the way, you know you're wearing the same T-shirt? You know that, right? You guys look like you're really ready to do this blessing, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to them. They're going to do the blessing before and after the Torah reading, and then Felix is going to read. So, Ya'amod, Natan v'Chana, Ned and Nora Gabay.
Eilech hamda livi, Hosanna ve'ana titalem. Eilech hamda livi, Hosanna ve'ana titalem. Eilech hamda livi, Hosanna ve'ana titalem.
Okay, Ned and Nora, you guys are up.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Great job, guys.
Amen. Ve'ela toldo Yitzhak ben Avraham. Avraham holida Yitzhak. Vahi Yitzhak ben Arba'im shana. Bekachto et Rivka. Bat Betuel Arami. Mipadan Aram. Ahot Levan Harami. Lola Isha. Vayater Yitzhak Ladonai Lenochach Ishto Ki Hara Hi Vayater Lo Adonai Vatar Rivka Ishto.
Okay, you guys are up.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say Yashar Koach to you. Thank you so much, Ned and Nora. Now we move to Jen Cohen. I see Jen is wearing a little floral. Do you see that, Daniel? There. No. That is not That's not Jen. I don't think that's Jen. Here we go. Jen Cohen. She's right there. I see her. Jen and Rob.
We'll sing as Dan spotlights them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, we're almost
There we go. Hey, guys.
Oh.
Wait a minute. You're wearing the same T-shirts.
Oh my God! Again. Here we go.
Okay, wait a minute. I have to call you.
Okay.
Right. Okay, we're jumping the
it.
gun here. Here we go. Hey, Amod, Ya Amdu, Shoshana Bat Chaim V'Tzipora, Ve'Ruven Ben Michael V'Gishachaya, Jen and Rob.
Sisu et Yerushalayim Giluva, Giluva Kola Ola, Sisu et Yerushalayim Giluva, Giluva Kola Ola.
All right. Now you're up.
All right. Ready to rock. Ready?
I'm ready.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten
Amen.
Amen. Vayirotzatsu habanim bekir ba vatomer imkem lama zeh anochi vatela lirosh et Adonai vayomer Adonai la shnei goyim bevitneh Ushne lamim mime'ai yiparedu ul'am mil'am yamatz varav yavod sa'id vayimle'u amecha lo ledet v'chinei tomim bevitna.
Okay, blessing after, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. And as the Torah is open, we like to take a moment to think about people that we love and care about that are in need of healing. So we sing a special blessing called Misha Berach. And between the first and second verse is an opportunity for you in your heart or even out loud to say the names of the people that you love and care about that are in need of healing. And before we even say any of those names, our hearts go out to all of those affected by the coronavirus. So we especially keep them in our hearts and in our minds as we sing this prayer. But we also remember all of those that you would like mentioned. So please do say them or think them after we sing this first verse of the melody.
Bless the ones before.
Amdu, Elizabeth, Greg, and Richard.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Hey! Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai.
All right, while you're here, you can take his talit and you can touch it on the spot where he's going to begin, and you can give it a little kiss.
Over here. Okay, show them where you are. You touch it right here. Elizabeth, take that and touch here. And kiss. Perfect.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayitze Harishon Admuni Kulo Ke'aderet Se'ar V'kreu Shemo Esav V'charehen Yatsa Achiv V'yado Chesed Ba'akev Esav V'yikra Shemo Yaakov Vayitzchak ben shishim shana v'ledet otam vayigdelu ha'arami v'ne'arim v'hi esav ish yodea sa'id ish sadah v'yakov ish tam Yoshe Ochalim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher natan lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam nata b'tuchenu Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Yasher koach to you, and here's a big hug. This is like a virtual hug that I'm giving all three of you, okay? Come, Richard, you could hug me a little harder there. There we go. All right, now you guys can go to the other side now. Now we've reached what I like to call the moment of bar mitzvah. At the very beginning of the ceremony, I mentioned that wearing a talit is one of the privileges that someone who becomes a bar or bat mitzvah gets to do, is wear a talit. The thing, though, is to be counted in a minyan and to be able to do what Felix is just about to do, which is to do the blessing before and after the Torah. Now, the fact is, he's already read from Torah, because you can be any age and read from Torah, but to be able to do the blessing before and after, that is reserved only for people that are bar mitzvah or older. And actually, he's grown a couple inches in the last couple of weeks. So usually I like to think that at this time when you do this, that's when, that might grow a little bit, hair could sprout from his face. You never know what's going to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Amod hamaftir asher ben Greg v'Elisheva habar mitzvah Evenu shalom alecha Evenu shalom alecha Evenu shalom alecha Evenu shalom alecha
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayishma Yaakov El Aviv, El Imo, Vayelech, Padan Aram, Vayar Esav, Kiraot, Benot, Canaan, Bene, Yitzhak Aviv, Vayelech Esav, El Yishmael, Vayikah, Et Mechelat, Bad Yishmael ben Avraham, Achot Nevayot, Al Nashav Lo Leisha.
Excellent. All right, blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say Yasher Koach.
Yasher Koach.
And let's give him a little mazel tov, a little one, just mazel tov. Because later on we're going to throw candy and we got a big mazel tov then. But for right now, we just gave him a little one here. So, I'd like to now invite Greg, who's been working out for about 3 weeks to be able to do this honor to lift the Torah. And Elizabeth, if you could come and to dress it for us. If you're at home and you'd like to, please rise.
Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe al shosha devarim ha'olam omed al shosha devarim ha'olam omed al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim al shosha devarim ha'olam omed al shosha devarim ha'olam omed. Also at the end, I had written this and you're going to say, we continue with my after all. And go right into that. Okay, this one you need to, do you want to use this? So that people can really hear you. Hold on. Let me go sit.
My Torah portion, Toldot, is the story of twin brothers who betray one another. This betrayal leads to anger, manipulation, and violence. I couldn't help but draw some parallels to the year that I have experienced as a 13-year-old boy living through 2020 and watching events unfold in the world around me. The story of Toldot begins with two twin brothers, Esau and Jacob, who were adversaries from birth. Esau, the firstborn, was stronger and a talented hunter with a fiery temper, while Jacob was the calmer of the two and more cerebral. One day, after a hard and exhausting day in the field, Esau demands that Jacob make him some soup. Jacob, who always resented his brother's temper, sees an opportunity to use Esau's tiredness and lack of intellect against him by giving him the soup in exchange for his birthright. This birthright was extremely important because it would ultimately determine who was the patriarch of the Jewish people. Because Esau is starving and was not as smart as Jacob, he accepted the deal. This is the first betrayal between brothers, and one brother bullying the other, and one using the weakness of another to gain power. The second betrayal occurs when Jacob and Esau's father Isaac is on his deathbed and wants to give his firstborn Esau a special prayer. The prayer would ensure that one brother would always reign over the other like a king. Jacob and his own mother Rebekah thought that Esau was unfit to be a ruler, so they devised a plot to deceive Isaac so that Jacob would receive the blessing instead. When Esau learns that he was deceived, he threatens to kill his brother, which causes Jacob to flee for fear of his life. On one hand, I feel for Esau because his own brother betrayed him twice, first by being manipulated into giving up his birthright, and the second from receiving a prayer that would make him ruler. On the other hand, I feel for Jacob because he spent most of his life afraid of his brother's controlling temper and then having to live in fear of a prayer that would make him subservient to him. And even though he brought the situation upon himself, he spent a good portion of his life in fear that his brother would kill him and find him. Both brothers had a right to be angry about something, but they expressed their anger in ways that created a rift that lasted through most of their lives, and they lost years of brotherhood. So what could Esau and Jacob have done differently? How could they have created a different outcome instead of letting their anger lead them down such a bad path? We see that anger can happen when people feel betrayed, feel less than equal, or feel manipulated or exploited. This year has had massive chunks of betrayal spread throughout all of it. Systemic racism in this country has led to protesting and rioting over senseless violence due to the color of a human skin. And the transgender community has lost their health care, and there are still ignorant people out there who do not take this pandemic seriously, and consequently, innocent people are getting sick and dying. All very different betrayals. But no matter how you look at it, betrayal can very quickly and easily lead to anger. As we saw in the unrest earlier this year on the account of racial injustice, we saw people who channeled their anger for social work and change, and then we saw people who channeled their anger into violence. Some creating fires, and some peacefully advocated for things to be right. For me, I don't think that violence is the answer. Violence doesn't solve the issue, but we should still pay attention when people are angry to try and understand the root of that anger. If Jacob and Esau had made different choices on how to handle their initial anger at each other, the story would be a lot more different. There are better ways to cope. For me, I think communication is the most effective way to manage stress and anger. Just talking through something instead of acting out not only helps me feel better, but can lead to extremely positive outcomes. One of the most inspiring TED Talks I've ever watched discuss this very issue. It was given by a black musician named Daryl Davis who wanted to understand what drove the KKK to hate blacks and other minorities. Daryl was able to get an interview with a Grand Dragon in the KKK named Robert Kelly, so that he could hear his perspective and try to understand the root of such anger and hate. The interview turned into a friendship, and even though it took many years for Robert to see his friend Daryl as an equal, he eventually left the KKK for good, and these men are still friends to this day. This lesson taught me that communication is more powerful than any weapon could be. Embracing your adversaries and listening to them rather than fighting can yield beautiful and peaceful resolutions. Most importantly, this TED Talk inspired my Bar Mitzvah project. I wanted to do something that channeled anger appropriately, so I chose the issue of racial injustice and helping amplify minority voices. I'm doing this through a new YouTube channel that I have created called A Recipe for Justice. My mission is to invite guests who have been oppressed in some way or have seen mass oppression in action to cook with me in my kitchen and talk about their injustice in a safe and nurturing environment. My hope is that these guests and their causes inspire people to listen and educate themselves and hopefully others. And who doesn't like to eat delicious food? So stay tuned for more at arecipeforjustice.com. Thank you all for listening to my sermon. May we all learn to make a little more room for love. Shabbat Shalom. Now join me for the Haftarah. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asa asher bahar binvim tovim veratza v'divrachem hana amarim ba'amed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'omer b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo Uvisrael amo, Uvin vie ha'amet v'tzedek. Masad of Adonai El Yisrael Beyad Malachi Achavti etchem Amar Adonai Ve'amartem b'ma achavtanu Halo ach Esav leYaakov Ne'yum Adonai Va'ohav et Yaakov Ve'et Esav seneti Va'asim et harav shemama ve'et nechalato letonot midbar ki tomar edom rishashnu v'nashuv ve'ivnei harivot ko amar Adonai tzavot hema yivnu yani Eros vekaru lachem gavul risha yuhal esher zehem Adonai Adolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik bechol ha'adorot Ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber kayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lachavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach Umvarchim ota yachavod yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai tomid milam va'ed baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shemo Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Okay, you've got in your boxes, you've got some candy. You're now supposed to go into the box, take the candy, and throw it towards the screen, towards Felix. Now it should go in a parabola, in a little bit of a parabola as you're throwing it up there. Are we ready?
Wait, what?
And...
Send it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, send it up, send it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, send it up, send it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, send it up.
One more time on the Zoom call. Ready? A big mazel tov. Well, you can't really tell. You can't really tell. All right. Now, before we return the Torah to the Ark, we have a couple of special blessings to do. And the first one, and again, we're going to go on to our Zoom call for these. First one is Dan Gabe and Elizabeth Hagen. You guys raise your hand so I can see you. Or do you have them? Yeah. So we're bringing you guys up, and we'd love for, Dan's going to do the Hebrew of this blessing. Oh, there they are. And Elizabeth's going to do the English.
Okay. Ta'alu shalom, Yerushalayim yishlayu ohav vaish.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper.
Avinu Shabashamayim Sor Yisrael Vegalo Barich et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Simchat Gulatenu Hagen Alecha Bevrat Hazdecha Ufros Alecha Sukat Shalomecha Ushilach Orcha Va'amitcha Larashicha Saracha Veyo Atsecha V'taknem Betza Tova Milfanecha V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz v'simchat olam layoshava v'namar Amen.
Amen.
O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. And now we turn to prayer for our country. Deborah Abral, if we can bring her up, and we'd like you. Once we see you, then you can start.
Morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those that have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
We do say amen to that. We have one other special reading, and John Giler will be reading this for us. So once we find John, and once you come on up on the screen, we'd ask you to read your reading.
Hi. Hi, here I am.
Yeah, we're going to find you. We're going to find... Oh, we got you.
Yeah. Okay, so in 1898, a young Russian Jew got on a boat in the Black Sea and sailed to America. But when he got to New York, he was a little freaked out by it. So instead, he sought a village a little more like the one he'd come from. And he settled on Bridgeport, Connecticut. And there he acquired a trade. He became a tailor of fine women's clothes. But as he grew older, his friends began to fear that he would never get married because he was so incredibly painfully bashful. But then one day, he saw this really cute Polish girl walking down the street in Bridgeport. And he said to himself, oh my God, do I have the nerve to talk to her? Polish people are so sophisticated. Chopin, the composer, Joseph Conrad, the writer, and his friend said, what are you talking about? Russians are better writers. Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, go talk to her, go, go, go. So he worked up his nerve and he did talk to her. And a few months later, they were married. And a year after that, they had a son, and then another, and then another. And then finally, on the fourth try, they had a girl. Her name was Lillian, and she became famous, actually, in the town of Bridgeport because she was a champion swimmer. And she was even preparing for the Olympics when, sadly, a shoulder injury ended her career. So instead, she started a family. She had 3 kids of her own, the youngest of whom was named Sandy, your grandmother, Felix. She was my first cousin, and I loved her like a sister. And I was thrilled when she found a wonderful man to marry, Richard, your grandfather. And these two threw the most unbelievable parties, particularly on Yom Kippur, when we would all, after fasting all day long, starving to death, go to their house and find this table laden with unbelievable Jewish food. Kugel, arugula, sable, lox, herring, whitefish, everything. And as we were stuffing ourselves madly with all this food, these young wild ragamuffins would be running around the house. Daniel and Elizabeth, their kids. And I mean, they would be having pillow fights in the middle of this feast. And we thought to ourselves, my God, will these crazy kids ever grow up and have children of their own? And you know what? They did. Ned, Nora, and you, Felix. So, I don't know what the Talmud says about the role of fate in Jewish life. Maybe the rabbi knows. But this I do know. If that young Russian tailor hadn't worked up the nerve to talk to that cute Polish girl, there would be no Felix and there would be no bar mitzvah. So, on behalf of all your ancestors, love and mazel tov. Ciao.
I think we're done. I think we'll finish with that. What more can we say after that incredible understanding of how we end up here and just the odds of fate, I guess is the way to put that. And Judaism has a lot to say about fate. On both sides of the equation, some believe that everything is fated, and others believe everything is in our hands. And I think it lies somewhere between that. But it is true that the acts of those who came before us and those generations before us are the ones that really allowed us to be here today. And so we do give thanks for all of those that come before us as we stand here today to celebrate Felix's bar mitzvah. Wonderful. We're going to return the Torah to the Ark now. I think it's page 258, if I'm...
256.
256. So if you are following along in the Siddur, you can go to page 256, and we will now come up and return the Torah to the Ark.
Ki lekach tov natati lahem Torati al tazovu Eitz chayim hi lamachazikim ba Vetom hecha meushar derachecha darchei noam Vechol netivotecha shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva
So now we bless you with the ancient benediction, the priestly benediction found in the book of Numbers. You can face the ark.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face shine upon you, and may God be good to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
May you find God's presence in your life and in every face that you see. And may you find wholeness. May you find completeness. May you find peace. Amen.
Thank you. To everyone here, thank you for sitting through this service. I know it was a long morning, and you are all amazing for supporting me through it. I know there are a handful of you for whom this is your first bar mitzvah, and I am so honored that you chose to attend mine. Also, a major thank you to all the people Zooming in from New York, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Nebraska, Kansas, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Washington, Florida, and Illinois. Even though it's also like 4 a.m., I think we may have a few Melbourne, Australia people here, so g'day, mates. We thought it was impossible for everybody to be here because of quarantine, but look at the bond we were able to create here today. Even if we aren't here in person, we are all here in spirit. Thank you all so much for bringing me to this point. You are all here because you made me who I am, through your love, friendship, and care. Even if you are a friend or colleague of my parents, your love and support of them is love and support of me as well. I couldn't have done this without all of you. Thank you. Thank you to my amazing cousins in Virginia for crushing their aliyah, and to my Aunt Elizabeth and Uncle Danny for their beautiful prayer for Israel. I love and miss you so much. To Jenny and Hookie, thank you for your amazing aliyah and for all your love and laughter throughout all the years. To my Auntie Deborah, thank you for your beautiful honor to this country today. I love you so much. And to my third cousin Johnny, my mother's first and favorite cousin, thank you for being here today and for honoring my grandmother Nancy. To my cousin Logan and Grandpa Lee Drew, Nebraska, thank you for the beautiful poem. Grandma Judy would have loved that, and Winnie the Pooh is so dear to my heart because of her. I love and miss you both so much. To my Papa Richard, who came in here from Florida just to be here on this special occasion, I love you so much. I can't thank you enough for all of your love and support. To all those who helped me with my bar mitzvah, Cantor Weiss, Rabbi Basson, Rabbi Aaron, Rabbi Lutz, and my amazing Hebrew tutor, Shelley Kamara. And finally, Karen Porper, who coordinated everything leading up for the past 2 years. Without all of you, I wouldn't be on this bima today. To be speaking in Hebrew, reading Torah, and being able to thank you. It is only because of you that I could have done this. Thank you for your support and knowledge that gave me the privilege to have this day happen. And to my mom and dad, thank you for everything. From every step I've taken to every trip and fall I've had, you've always had my back. In the 13 years I've been here, you two stayed by my side and kept me supported and standing tall. You both got me to the point where I am now. My favorite memories involve you two, and it wouldn't have gone any other way. Thank you so much for everything and everything that you've given me.
Elizabeth and I would like to thank you all for joining our family in celebrating Felix's bar mitzvah. We had grand plans to meet in person and celebrate in great fashion with you all. Unfortunately, that did not prove to be possible. Maybe in some way, in the elimination of the spectacle, it has enabled us to reflect truly on what is important and that which we are truly thankful for. Thank you all for being part of our family. To my wife, Elizabeth, I know this has been a tumultuous journey. Best laid plans have been put to triage to disappointment, replanned only to lead to further disappointment. I know this did not happen as you planned, but in the end, through endurance, we are here with our friends and family. Given the circumstances, that is no simple task. Thank you for your love, leadership, and commitment to get us here. This moment is truly magical and filled with love. Well, here we are. My son is now a young man. I guess that makes me an old man. I'd like the record to state that I at least had a good run. To Felix, a.k.a. Little Man, it has been a pleasure to watch you grow. Some days, I must admit, I thought it would never happen. I think back about your fear of needles. You were irrational, the worst of mind over matter, kicking, screaming, crying. It was no fun for anyone. But then one day you faced that dreaded needle and it was over. Not so bad. Fear was much worse than the actual needle. It was a turning point for Felix. In watching you, I've seen you mature into your own person, to struggle with responsibility, to battle distraction, to overcome the propensity to follow, and to fight for higher ground, to overcome your fears. Thank goodness each year the bar resets. Thank you, God. And you continue to grow, to mature, becoming the man I had hoped you can be. As you take more and more responsibility and you become increasingly more accountable, may these words continue to resonate with you, even when I'm gone. Felix, this is my blessing for you. Be interested in everything. Be committed to go beyond the cursory. Be curious, explore, have fun, but also be serious and intentional. Be kind, make a difference. Live life so as not to have regret. Don't sit back and watch. Do not be a follower. Go for it. Take risk. Be involved. Help others. Help the planet. Find love. Make your mark. Not once in a while, but every day. Live life with no fear. That needle's not really so bad. Have purpose in your life and live it every day. Life is about making choices. In a world of continuous distraction and perpetual excuse-making, it is easy to find divergent outcomes, and all the easier to create excuses for why things did not work out. May you have the courage and good judgment to make good choices in your life, and when that choice is not so great, that you have the courage to acknowledge your error and get back after it immediately thereafter. Be self-critical. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Be the better man. Be not afraid to take the path less traveled, to do the hard things, to do the right things. I say it again, have purpose in your life and do it every day. Life is empty without love in your heart. May you have the courage to listen to and lead from your heart, to be empathetic to all, sympathetic to those that truly need it, to know that giving is far more rewarding than receiving. It will come back to you manyfold. Kindness is a hammer. Refine your skills and become a carpenter. In a world short of builders, you will be overwhelmingly received. May you come to know the joy of having a son like you, of building a family. May you grow old and wise and make an impact on this world, making it a better place, honoring the glory that God bestowed upon you. When I speak of fear, I speak of courage. I say it once more. Live life with purpose and do it every day. Felix, Godspeed to you. May God and your faith be your beacon. Your mom and dad are proud of you. We love you. I love you.
When I think about great Jewish men who have inspired me, I can't help but think of Sacha Baron Cohen and a quote of his that's always stuck with me. Great success. High five. Felix, watching you grow into this fine and soulful human being about to take his first steps into manhood is so powerful and inspiring. What a year you've lived through. I mean, it's weighed heavy on all of us, but I can't imagine navigating 2020 as a 13-year-old boy. But you've handled every curveball that's been thrown at you with maturity, curiosity, humor, and empathy. And never once did these setbacks deter you from achieving your goals and what you've accomplished here today. So coming of age in a year like 2020 comes with an awesome responsibility. And one thing is certain, we need great men to step up and step out now more than ever. Giving you the room to become that man is just one of the many paradoxes of motherhood. Until now, it's been my job to nurture you, to provide for you, comfort you, protect you. And today marks a day where I symbolically retire that covenant and allow you the space to become the man you're meant to be. Over the years, Rabbi Aaron and I have had inspirited and at times weepy talks about finding the right balance of parenting, debating how much to hold on, how much to let go. And during last week, one of our chats, he reminded me of the teaching of Isaac Luria and his Kabbalistic thought on what is called the Tzimtzum. The Tzimtzum meaning that when God created the world, it was just God. And with that, God asked himself a vexing question: how could anything be created if it's just him? Then with this notion, God pulls back and leaves a void so creation can happen. Pretty existential stuff. Chewed on it for a while, and it occurred to me that parenting is very much the Tzimtzum. And even though this proverbial void seems daunting, it's thrilling to imagine the possibilities of what you will create. So it's now time for me to pull back and honor the Tzimtzum, that ethereal void where you can exist freely and become authentically you. You already have such a strong character, Felix. You have a voice stronger than you think, and what you say matters. Trust it. Use that voice to tell your story, whether you write it, sing it, draw it, drum it, dance it, code it, tell it. Tell Felix a story, because in the end, all you'll have is your name, and your story is how you'll be remembered. So make it count. And with that voice, I hope you use it to elevate your fellow human, support your friends of color, lend your voice, lend your hand, be an advocate for those oppressed, and fight injustice. Fight for this planet. Be a champion for your female friends, your female classmates. Don't be afraid to call out the men who diminish women, because if we learn one thing this year, it's that silence makes you complicit. And when you decide what you want to do with all of your talent and your beautiful mind, I freaking hope you go for it, kid. Set your vector and fly high, Felix. Do what electrifies you. You have a huge safety net. We're all right here. So take chances, fail, pick yourself up and do it again and again. And when you need grounding, or if you ever feel lost, you can always come right here to this sanctuary. Rabbi Aaron delivered a sermon once about grounding and balance that's always stuck with me. It references the teaching of a Hasidic rabbi named Simcha Bunam, best name ever. And it goes like this. Everyone must have two pockets with a note in each pocket so they can reach into one or the other depending on the need. When feeling high and mighty, one should reach into the left pocket and find the words, V'anochi ve'afar. I am but dust and ashes. But when feeling lowly and depressed or discouraged, one should reach into the right pocket and there find the words, Bishvili nivra ha'olam. For my sake, the world was created. So when you feel off kilter or lost, wrap this talit around you. This teaching, these words have been painted into the corners of your talit, the left and the right. And like this teaching, your talit must balance on your shoulders. And lastly, your talit is made from fabric that belonged to your grandmother, Nancy, who you're named for. And I hope you feel her love and warmth wrapped around you when you wear this. She would be so proud of you. To our friends and family, having you all here to share this occasion means so much to all of us. Seeing all your beautiful faces is so comforting to me. We're all a part of Felix. He belongs to all of us. I mean, Greg and I will pay for him, but he's all of ours. And if I'm ever not around to remind him of these wishes, I ask all of you, his village, to hold him accountable to these tenets. To my loving husband, Greg, my co-pilot, thank you for welcoming Judaism into your life. Thank you for being my co-pilot. I love you madly. Felix, I couldn't be more proud of you. Thank you for being such an amazing son. Thank you for holding my hand on this magnificent journey of motherhood. It's a privilege to raise you, a joy to share my life with you, and the greatest honor to be your mom. Mazel tov. I love you madly. Okay.
We need to just take a second. I think we're all verklempt from those two speeches. Thank you so much for those incredible words. I hope you can take them to heart. We have a couple of things here for you. This is a gift from our congregation. It's not a car. It's a Kiddush cup. So hopefully that'll be filled with juice until you're 21, and then wine after that. And you know, wine or grape juice is a symbol of joy. And we know from hearing what we just heard how much joy you have in your life. We share that joy with you and hope that it continues. Here we have a little gift certificate. If you ever choose to go on a trip to Israel with the Reform movement, you can have a little discount, even though you guys are going to pay also. And here we have our special certificate. This deserves like an ooh and an ah. Ready? Give me an ooh and an ah.
Ooh,
ah. It's a very beautiful certificate that is unique to Temple Emmanuel. It was made by our graphic designer, and it says it's to certify that Felix Otto was called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah on Shabbat Toldot. So please bring this to your home. It is actually signed by all four of us, all four of the clergy, so that won't be worth anything someday. But this will be worth a lot because it will remind you of this incredible day that we've all shared together. We ready to conclude our service with our concluding prayers?
Yeah.
So we'll start with Aleinu.
Page 282, if you're still following along. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אחד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
We turn now to Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Today, we especially remember Grandma Nancy Gabay, Grandma Judy Otto, Super Granny Evelyn McClure, Great Grandpa Vern McClure, and great grandparents Huguette and Sidney Gabay and Lillian and Manny Savage. So all of those names we call into our hearts as we say Kaddish Yatom for all those that have been lost in this world. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו, לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. And to add to that, we have a special reading that's going to be done by Ledru Otto and Logan Bellinger in honor and memory of Kaddish Yatom. So we'd like to go to them on our Zoom call. That's Ledru and Logan.
Okay.
If ever there is a tomorrow,
When we are not together,
there is something you must always remember.
you are braver than you believe,
Stronger than you seem,
smarter than you think.
but the most important thing is
Even if we are apart, I'll
always be with you.
You guys go on the top here, and you go on the second one. Thank you so much. We're doing a little hand sanitizing here as we move towards the end of our service. We have a special blessing that we want to give to the family. Felix is in front. Let's take your talit. There we go. You want to take these? We're going to just say a couple of private words to them. We're going to shut off our microphone, and then we'll come back on for our special song at the end. So as we continue now on our journeys through life, and this family will continue with their journeys, we sing a song of journeys, Lechi Lach.
Lechi Lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. And you shall be a blessing. And you shall be a blessing. Lechi Lach.
Mazal Tov to you. You all at home, in your boxes, you've got wine. Well, is it wine or is it juice? The kids have juice, the adults have wine. You can take that out now. You can pour it for yourself. We're going to go back here and we're going to do wine and motzi for Shabbat here in the sanctuary. Please join us on your Zooms. You don't know this. We have a big screen right here and we're looking at all the Zoom people. If you can hear me and you wish him Mazel Tov, do this. Give us a little like jazz fingers. There we go. Everyone's doing the jazz fingers. Excellent. Thank you so much. It's been amazing to have all of you with us. We've got 2 screens on here. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. There's 50 people on just the first screen and another 50 on the second screen. That's 100 people on the Zoom call. Absolutely amazing. So now we've got our Kiddush and our Motzi right back here.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. Take a sip.
I think it's juice, Felix. You're allowed to drink it. Oh, it's Menashev. That's like juice.
Felix, let's reveal the challah. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, temple challah. Actually, all you folks that aren't from Los Angeles, you don't know.
Yes.
This is special pretzel challah.
Yes.
It is the most delicious challah in the world. I know you're all salivating a little bit just looking at that challah. So here we go. Let's do the blessing over the bread and
then we're going to go to a
and then we have a montage that we'd love for you to stay on, look at the montage, and then afterwards you say hi to everybody on the Zoom.
All right. 1, 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
B'te'avon l'kulam. Mazal tov to the family. And now, let's see some pictures.
Don't
Hi, everyone. Can you hear us? What? Oh. Can you hear us? Hi!
They can unmute themselves.
You want to unmute?
Hey, guys.
Now you can talk.
How close, babe?
Hi, Jen.
Jesus.
Hi, everybody.
You did.
Hi, Felix.
Hi,
We can talk.
Felix.
Yeah, you have to talk into the mic.
Hi, guys.
Congratulations. We love you.
Congratulations.
Felix. Bye,
Mazel
Felix.
tov.
Mazel tov, Felix. Mazel tov.
Hi, y'all. You guys did a great job.
Nora Bean, how are you?
Say mazel tov. No?
Hey, Dan.
I love how you guys are all rocking your blue t-shirts.
Beautiful.
It's going.
Jen. Jan
You
Giler.
were all amazing. This was so touching and beautiful.
Hi, Jen.
Beth Blue.
Feely, we're all smelling. That was so fabulous. Feely, mazel tov. You were amazing. And Lizzie and Greg, you were so incredible. Thank you. That was beautiful. Laughing and crying. It was so great. Thank you, guys. It was beautiful. Mazel tov.
Love you. Jackie and Hero.
Love
Oh, my
you.
goodness. Gravers. Gravers, hi.
We love you, Felix. We love you, Lizzie and Greg.
Oh my God, you're the best. Oh,
Gotta come down here.
we're the boys.
May I speak?
Hey,
Johnny. Oh my God. Johnny Zabby, love you. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I can't thank you
I just
enough.
want to say one thing, and that is, if there was ever a doubter about the value of this process, you put those doubts to rest permanently. It was
love
such
you.
a rewarding experience to be here with you, Felix.
So beautiful.
You guys don't
So
age.
beautiful.
You don't age. You don't age.
He's the
You're
best
incredible.
chronicler I know.
You look beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
I
Felix.
saw Jackie. Oh my God, Ann and Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hi.
How are you guys?
How you guys doing?
Hello, Pennsylvania.
Hi. Thank you for including us. So
You
beautiful.
look great. Oh my Carol! Kansas in the house. Hi, Carol.
Kansas City, we ain't coming this year, but
No.
Felix, next Thanksgiving, pumpkin
Yes.
pie
Yes, pumpkin pie.
and a noogie.
Cabbage. JP and Alice. Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
guys, we love you, Felix. Congratulations.
Felix, we're so proud of you. We
Diego's
love you.
Diego's in the front.
Hi, Diego.
Everybody was watching the whole time.
He's been there. He's like danced to the songs. He loves you too.
Hooray! Oh my God. Chris and Marie, how are you guys?
oh my goodness.
Hi. Are you muted? Can I hear you? You guys look gorgeous. You don't age either. Oh my God, Sanj, you guys. We're going to see everybody. They're going to go around everybody. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Jackie and Hero! Oh my
Hi,
God.
gorgeous.
Hi, guys.
Amazing. Congrats, Felix. And hi, Richard, Greg.
Oh
Lizzie,
my
you make me
goodness.
cry.
We should be having cocktails right about now. This is terrible. This is torture. Oh, miss you guys. Miss you guys so much. Hero, I love your both your haircuts look great, by the way. Amazing. Yeah, I can take that off. Polly! Oh, beautiful Polly. Look at you. I love your hand warmers. I know.
I
wanna
love
hug you. I wanna
you,
kiss you.
Felix, and you guys, all three of you, and all four of you. Hi, Richard. You were amazing. This was beautiful. It's the first bar mitzvah I've been to in like 20 years, and I was weeping.
Oh my goodness. You, so good.
Oh
to
my
see
God,
you.
I love
can't-
you
yes,
guys.
Oh my goodness, Susanna in Arizona. Oh my God, and Jerry.
What's up,
Hi.
Jerry? How are you, buddy?
Thank you. So good to see you. I love the layered T-shirt look.
Yes.
Seriously.
Only thing missing is the Rams hat.
Yeah.
So
good to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you both for coming.
Felix, you did such a good job. Mazel tov. Can't wait to see you soon.
Hi, Ethan. Oh my goodness.
They made it to the beach.
Oh my
Yeah, you did such a good job.
Russell.
Russell. Yeah.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Felix. Yvonne and I are so proud of you. I don't even know what to say right now. We're really, really proud of you. That was great. You did a wonderful job.
You guys are, you're such a huge part of his life and oh my goodness. Hi, Arizona.
Felix, that was a lot of Hebrew. Like a lot of Hebrew.
You guys were amazing. Run and run. Sorry, Gabby.
Love you.
They're flipping all over the place. Miss you guys. Oh my God. Look at you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Oh my goodness.
You say it, Mama.
I'm going to show up in your backyard for a cocktail,
You
ED.
ladies are gorgeous. You are beautiful. Unbelievable. Oh my God. I don't, it might be delayed.
Hey, Felix, take care of that voice. You sounded terrific.
Oh my God, Craig and Ming! Gosh, we have SciArc and it's like the whole SciArc crew. I know. Oh my goodness.
You guys were amazing.
You guys are incredible. I don't want to be the only one holding this.
You guys are incredible.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, what's popping? Okay, I needed to get that in some place into this bar mitzvah. Jeez. Yeah. Oh, we're all really tired.
You're amazing, Felix.
Hi. Thank you guys so much for coming. Jeez.
I know, we could keep the call going.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't be in person.
Great job, Felix. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Eckerd!
We're all amazing.
Thank you guys.
The cantor and the rabbi.
Hi, Arlene.
She is an age.
Scott,
you, Sarah.
Deborah, can you hear me?
Congratulations. It was amazing. Amazing. Not a dry eye in the house. I was bawling. Greg.
Love you.
Your speech. Liz, you look gorgeous. Felix. Oh my God. Amazing. Just fabulous.
Love you.
I'm so proud of you.
Love you. So much. Miss you.
Miss you.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's Beth. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Liz. And I hope to see you in person soon.
Would love
I
that.
do. Beautiful. Beautiful.
We're going to say
Felix
goodbye
is
now.
hiding.
Maybe we could pick this up again a little later. Keep the link going.
He's hiding.
It's too good.
I love you guys.
Love you, Deborah.
Love you.
Deborah. Love you, Deborah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful,
Hi.
beautiful.
Hi, Felix, for
Prayer.
including me in this such a special, beautiful day. Thank you so much.
You're a big part of it. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, though. All of you guys spent time out of your day on a Saturday. You all woke up early just to go to my bar mitzvah. Thank you so much.
Aw. Hi, Richard.
Oh my God.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Love you all so much. Love you all.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Ah.
This was wonderful and